Hello, we've made it to the end of another year. What does the future hold? What will we see around the corner in the coming year? My name is Ian Currey and this is Thinking Out Loud. Come on, let me tell you what I think. I always find the new year to be a bit of an anticlimax. In a way, it's just another day. The dog still needs walking. And while we usually have an extra day or two off, I still have to do most of the things I do on other days. So why the big fuss? Well, it's a change, a chance for a clean-up, to promise ourselves, I'll never do that again. Or, right, I've talked about this long enough. This year is the year. Let's get it done. And then along comes Monday morning. New Year resolutions always seem to me to be setting yourself up for disappointment. While it's good to have something to look forward to, if nothing else changes, if habits and patterns, job and time off haven't drastically changed, then most of the things will either stay the same or will take a huge effort to change. We really are creatures of habit, and while claiming we like change, really we tend to do things the way we've always done them. How about you? Have you ever made a New Year's resolution? I mean, if you're going to change something, now's as good a time as any, I suppose. If you are a resolution kind of person, let me take a wild guess and see if I can list what they are. I'll let you into a secret. I did a little research and merged a bunch of lists of resolutions. I asked a few friends and then had a think about the kind of things everyone tries to do. The very first thing I found was very interesting. It was that when I asked people for one resolution they might make, instead of telling me what it was, they told me what they wanted to change about themselves, something they didn't like. I'd then point that out, and then they'd say something like, oh, well, I'll make a resolution to change what I don't like about myself. I find that a little sad. Not that people want to correct things, but that so many seem to not like something about themselves, to not have to think very hard to even come up with it. Ooh. The single biggest thing seemed to be the result of lolling around over the Christmas holidays. Let me give you the list. The top of the list was exercise more, with a close second being lose some weight. Those two are on most people's list of resolutions, aren't they? Well, unless you didn't eat a whole box of chocolates and didn't sit around doing nothing in particular over Christmas. I suppose we don't like being overweight and out of shape. Other common resolutions involved making life better for ourselves, cleaning up something, or trying to make ourselves live longer. Let me give you the top 10. Number 1, exercise more. 2, lose weight. 3, get organised. And for this to be so high up the list makes me feel a little better, because it means I'm not the only one who's struggling with redeeming time and getting more day to fit into the hours. 4, learn a new skill. It could be a language or a new hobby, but comes right after they get organised of the previous resolution on the list. I get the feeling that these are not just wishful thinking, but seem to be mostly interdependent. Number 5, it seemed rather abstract to me. Live life to the fullest. I wonder what people who have that as a resolution think they will do that they aren't already doing. That one makes me tired just thinking about it. I suppose getting organised will give us time to learn something new, and that will enrich our lives somewhat. If only we could afford it. And there's number 6. Ah yes, this is the one about money. Spend less and save more, or sometimes get out of debt and earn more. Something like that. 7, I was surprised to see this one so far down the list, but it's quit smoking. And for those who don't smoke, quit a bad habit. Perhaps if that happened to be eating too much chocolate or something, you could go to the top and start with number 1 and 2 again. Sadly, number 8 is spend more time with family and friends. We always seem to list that when we have regrets about how little time we've spent with them in the past year, and the one before, and the one before that perhaps. 9 is travel more, and 10, read more. Now, I think perhaps some of those last ones are to do with living life to the fullest, aren't they? Being content didn't make it onto our list, and neither did being still. I like that one, I think. Be still. All of these resolutions seem like something most of us could agree to and know they're good for us and would make our lives better. The trouble is that our own self-will is usually not enough to maintain a resolution on our own for very long. I could resolve to eat less and lose weight, but the first time Hillary baked one of those lovely cakes, that resolution would have to go because my self-will is useless against Hillary's baking. The resolution list broke down into 2 main ideas. One was bettering ourselves by doing things we know we should, and the other half by not doing things we know we shouldn't. So if we know, then why is it so hard? Now, this is nothing new, and it applies to much more serious things than eating too much cake or not exercising enough. Paul wrote about our human nature in the New Testament. I don't really understand myself, for I want to do what is right, but I don't do it. Instead, I do what I hate. And I know that nothing good lives in me, that is, in my sinful nature. I want to do what is right, but I can't. I want to do what is good, but I don't. I don't want to do what is wrong, but I do it anyway. Doesn't that sound familiar? The reason we struggle so much with changing ourselves is that it's in our nature. While exercising more would do most of us some good, I'm of course more talking here about our built-in default. I noticed something else too. Almost all the resolutions, with the possible exception of number 8 on the list, spend more time with family and friends, were things that directly benefit me and not anyone else. Obviously, the things that we are deeply ashamed of or really get frustrated with ourselves about are unlikely to appear on a casual resolution list. Those things we resolve in our hearts, but those things too we don't only keep to ourselves but try to change all by ourselves. And those things are exactly the things with which we need the most help. We love our freedom and our independence, but in the end, we all need others to help us through those exceptionally difficult situations. The hardest of these relies on family, a team, or God himself to help us make the essential change that will prevent self-destruction. Paul managed to sum this up neatly, of course. Rather than changing slowly or trying to do good in incremental steps, Paul recognized an all-in situation is called for, a start over. This means that anyone who belongs to Christ has become a new person. The old life is gone, a new life has begun. A new person. Oh, that sounds good, doesn't it? Only then, when we yield to Christ, can those deep down things we know we want to do or not do can really ever happen. As we move into another year, let's remember that God is indeed there for us, cheering us along and willing to give us a new start. Now that would make a happy new year, wouldn't it? Until next time, goodbye.